You ever notice how like sometimes the most like captivating stories are kind of like tucked away, like a rare first edition on a dusty library shelf just waiting to be discovered?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like those hidden gems of history, they're often like the most revealing and thought provoking.
Right. And well, today we're diving into one such story, and I'm excited to have our political history expert, Kimi Suri, here to help us unearth some fascinating insights. I'm Hari, by the way, and we're going to be exploring the life and legacy of Beverly White, a prominent figure in Utah politics based on these Wikipedia excerpts you, our astute listener, provided.
It's a pleasure to be here, Hari. And yeah, Beverly White's journey is particularly intriguing, especially, I think, for those interested in the evolving role of women in politics.
Definitely. So let's start with her early life. She was born in Salt Lake City in 1928,
Yeah.
but raised in Toole by her aunt and uncle after her mother passed away, which, that must have been a significant experience for her.
It certainly adds like a layer of complexity to her story. And you see this resilience kind of reflected throughout her life, from her active involvement in student government to even holding various jobs while she was still in high school.
Yeah, it seems like she wasn't one to shy away from responsibility or hard work, even at a young age.
Yeah.
Now, her marriage to Marion Floyd White in 1947 seems to be a pivotal point, considering his family had deep roots into his political scene.
Precisely. Imagine being immersed in a family where political discussions were just commonplace, witnessing firsthand the mechanisms of local governance. It very likely planted the seeds for her own political aspirations.
That makes me think of like, those lively family dinners where everyone's debating current events, except in Beverly White's case, it might have sparked this remarkable career. And then in 1959, she officially enters the world of politics, becoming president of the Toole County Democratic Ladies Club.
Yes. This marks the beginning of her formal engagement with the Democratic Party, a commitment that would deepen over the years as she rose to become the vice chair of the Toole County Democratic Party and then served for an impressive 16 years as the secretary of the Utah Democratic Party.
Wow, 16 years.
Yeah.
That is a testament to her dedication and organizational skills for sure, navigating the complexities of party politics. And speaking of navigating, she attended almost every single Democratic National Convention from 1964 to 2004.
Her consistent presence at these conventions highlights her enduring commitment to the democratic process and also her desire to shape the national political landscape. And it's fascinating to consider her role as a delegate for Ted Kennedy back in 1980 during a period of really intense, intra-party debate and division within the Democratic Party.
Yeah, that was a pivotal moment in American history, right? With the rise of the new right and a shift of the political landscape. It's incredible to think that she was right there in the thick of it, witnessing those historical shifts firsthand.
And it wasn't just about being present, she held positions of influence. In some conventions, she served as an uncommitted delegate, meaning she wasn't bound to vote for a specific candidate, so she could leverage her vote based on her own judgment and the perceived needs of her constituents.
That's a fascinating insight into the dynamics of delegate power and the strategic maneuvering that happens behind the scenes at these conventions. It speaks to her independent thinking and her willingness to stand by her convictions even within the party structure.
Absolutely. And this independent streak becomes even more apparent, I think, as we delve into her 2-decade tenure in the Utah House of Representatives, starting with her appointment in 1971 to fill a vacancy.
Yeah, this marks a significant transition, right?
Yeah.
From party politics to the legislative arena, where she would go on to represent various districts within Tule County, the 57th, the 64th, and the 21st, demonstrating her ability to connect with voters across different geographical boundaries.
This longevity in local politics is truly remarkable and underscores her deep connection to her community, her understanding of local issues, and her ability to effectively represent her constituents' interests.
It wasn't just about representing her constituents, though.
Yeah.
Right? She took on leadership roles within the House,
Yeah.
like serving as assistant whip for both the majority and minority parties,
Mm-hmm.
which is a real testament to her ability to work across party lines.
Yeah, that's a great point. And something that really stands out to me is that she was sometimes the only woman chairing a committee. Imagine like navigating that dynamic in a political landscape that was predominantly male.
Yeah, it really does make you think about it. It speaks volumes about her tenacity, her leadership skills, and her ability to command respect in a system that was often resistant to women's voices.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating to think about how she navigated those power dynamics and what kind of impact she had on shaping legislative agendas.
It really makes you wonder about the unseen battles fought and the subtle ways she might have influenced policy decisions, especially, during a time when women's perspectives were often marginalized in these spaces.
Totally. We're talking about a trailblazer,
Yeah.
someone who paved the way for future generations of women in Utah politics.
Mhm.
However, her time in the House wasn't without its challenges, and her 1990 re-election bid ended in defeat, reminding us that even the most dedicated public servants are subject to the shifting tides of the political landscape.
That's a crucial point, and it's interesting to note that her opponent in that election criticized her liberal stance, her attendance record, and even brought up controversies surrounding hospital management that she was involved in, showing how personal and pointed political campaigns can become.
Yeah, it really paints a picture of the political climate at the time and the evolving expectations of voters.
Yeah.
But even though her legislative career came to a close, her commitment to public service didn't end there, did it? Her involvement extended far beyond the House chambers.
Absolutely. And that's what I find so compelling about Beverly White's story. It's not just a political trajectory, it's a multifaceted narrative of service and advocacy that touches upon so many different aspects of Utah life. For instance, she served on the Utah Board of Pardons, imagine the weight of those decisions, and she was also involved with various hospital boards, navigating the complex world of healthcare policy.
It shows her willingness to tackle challenging issues, right? To engage with systems that impact people's lives on a very fundamental level, not just the abstract realm of political ideology.
Uh,
And speaking of advocacy, she was a staunch supporter of women's rights, a cause that was gaining momentum during her time in public life.
Yes, she was a vocal advocate for the Equal Rights Amendment, which sought to guarantee equal legal rights for all citizens, regardless of sex, a pretty bold stance considering the significant opposition it faced even within her own party. Her commitment to this cause highlights her willingness to challenge the status quo and push for systemic change.
And her advocacy extended beyond national borders, too. She attended the World Conference on Women, a global gathering that brought together women from all sorts of backgrounds to discuss critical issues and strategize for a more equitable future. It must have been an inspiring and energizing experience, connecting with women from all over the world who shared similar goals and aspirations.
It speaks to her understanding of the interconnectedness of women's issues, that the fight for equality transcends geographical boundaries. It's also interesting to note that she represented Planned Parenthood, an organization that's often been at the center of heated debates regarding reproductive rights.
Her willingness to be associated with Planned Parenthood, even with the potential for backlash, reveals her commitment to women's health care and their right to make their own choices, a stance that reflects her evolving views on social issues.
Yeah, it's a fascinating example of how personal convictions can intersect with political realities and how public figures navigate those complexities. And beyond her direct advocacy work, she also took on the task of documenting the experiences of women in politics, authoring a book about women legislators.
That's a significant contribution, not just to historical records, but also to inspiring future generations of women to step into leadership roles. By capturing those stories, she was ensuring that their voices wouldn't be lost, that their contributions would be acknowledged and celebrated.
It's an act of preservation, of creating a legacy that goes beyond her own achievements and recognizes the collective efforts of women in shaping Utah's political landscape. And in addition to her focus on social causes, she was instrumental in establishing a satellite campus for Utah State University in Tule, demonstrating her commitment to education and her belief in investing in her community's future.
This move to bring higher education to her hometown speaks volumes about her vision for creating opportunities, not just for individuals, but for the entire community to grow and thrive. It goes beyond abstract ideals and translates into tangible benefits for the people she served.
Absolutely. And I think what's remarkable about Beverly White is that she embodied this holistic approach to public service, recognizing that it's not just about enacting laws or advocating for specific causes, but about creating an environment where individuals and communities can flourish.
Yeah, she seemed to understand that politics is about people, and her legacy is woven into the fabric of Tule, a testament to her dedication and her ability to make a tangible difference in the lives of her constituents. But her story isn't just about local impact. Her views on national issues like abortion, capital punishment, and economic policy offer valuable insights into the complexities of her time.
Right. Her perspective on these issues reveals a nuanced understanding of the political landscape and a willingness to engage with challenging debates, even when they involve taking stances that might have been unpopular with some segments of her own party.
For instance, she initially supported stricter abortion laws, but later evolved to support abortion rights, a shift that reflects the changing social and political climate surrounding this issue.
It shows her willingness to adapt her views based on evolving understandings of the issue, a testament to her intellectual flexibility and her commitment to representing the needs of her constituents, even when those needs changed over time.
And on the issue of capital punishment, while the Supreme Court had ruled it unconstitutional in 1972, She supported its restoration in Utah, which became the first state to resume executions after that ruling, a controversial stance that placed her at odds with some of her Democratic colleagues.
It highlights the complexities of navigating moral and legal issues within the framework of personal convictions and political realities. Her position on capital punishment demonstrates her independence of thought and her willingness to stand by her beliefs, even when they diverged from the prevailing party line.
And then there's her perspective on economic policy, which reveals a pragmatic approach to fiscal responsibility. She voted against an income tax refund in 1979 and later attributed budget problems to that decision, a stance that might not have been popular but reflected her concern for long-term economic stability.
It suggests a depth of understanding about the complexities of budgeting and a willingness to prioritize long-term financial health over short-term political gains, a characteristic that underscores her commitment to responsible governance.
It's clear that she wasn't just driven by ideology, but by a desire to find practical solutions that would benefit her constituents in the state of Utah as a whole. Her career is a testament to the power of pragmatism and the importance of making tough choices, even when those choices might not be politically expedient.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the most valuable lessons we can glean from Beverly White's story. It's a reminder that effective leadership often requires balancing competing interests, making difficult decisions, and staying true to one's principles, even in the face of opposition.
So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive into the life and legacy of Beverly White, this woman whose story has taken us from, the bustling halls of national conventions to the inner workings of local government, and revealed a depth of commitment and a nuanced understanding of the complexities of politics.
It really has been a fascinating journey tracing her path. And as we reflect on her remarkable career, I think it's essential to consider the broader historical context in which she operated. Remember, she entered politics in the late 1950s, a time when women were largely relegated to the domestic sphere, their voices often unheard in the corridors of power.
Yeah, that's such a crucial point. The social and political landscape was just so vastly different than with those traditional gender roles so deeply entrenched in society. For Beverly White to not only enter politics, but to actually thrive in that environment, to break barriers and become a leader, it speaks volumes about her determination and her ability to challenge those prevailing norms.
It was a time when, that second wave of feminism was just beginning to gain momentum, pushing for equal rights and challenging traditional notions of women's roles. So Beverly White's journey becomes even more remarkable when you view it through this lens. She wasn't just navigating the complexities of politics, she was navigating the complexities of a society that was undergoing this profound transformation.
And her story is a testament to the fact that progress doesn't happen overnight. It takes individuals like Beverly White who are willing to push boundaries, to challenge the status quo, and to pave the way for, future generations.
Right. And she faced criticism, she encountered setbacks, but she never gave up, demonstrating a level of resilience that's truly inspiring.
It is.
Her perseverance in the face of adversity serves as a reminder, I think, that change often requires navigating complex systems, overcoming entrenched biases, and challenging, deeply held beliefs. It's a reminder that the fight for equality is ongoing and that each generation builds upon the accomplishments of those who came before.
Absolutely. And Beverly White's legacy is woven into the fabric of Utah politics, inspiring generations of women to step into leadership roles, to raise their voices, and to shape the policies that impact their communities. But her story also holds valuable lessons for all of us, regardless of gender or political affiliation.
Precisely. Her life exemplifies the power of individual action, the impact that one person can have on their community and even on the national stage. It's a reminder that engagement matters, whether it's advocating for social causes, serving in local government, or simply, staying informed about the issues that shape our world.
Yeah, her story also underscores the importance of staying true to one's convictions, of speaking up for what's right, even when it's unpopular or challenging. She showed that political leadership isn't just about towing the party line. It's about representing the needs of the people you serve and standing by your principles, even in the face of opposition.
And perhaps most importantly, her life highlights the transformative power of public service. It's a reminder that politics at its core is about serving others, about working to create a more just and equitable society. Beverly White's legacy is a testament to the impact that dedicated individuals can have when they commit themselves to this noble pursuit.
Well said, Kimi. And to you, our listener, we leave you with a thought-provoking question considering Beverly White's lifelong work on social services and women's rights. What other causes might she have championed today? What issues would have ignited her passion and inspired her to action in our current political climate?
That is a fascinating question to ponder, one that invites us to reflect on the issues that matter most to us and to consider how we can carry forward the torch of her legacy, engaging in our own communities and working towards a future that reflects the values of justice, equality, and service that she so passionately embodied.
As we wrap up this deep dive, we encourage you to explore the stories of other unsung heroes, those whose contributions may not have, garnered national attention, but whose impact continues to resonate within their communities. Their lives offer valuable lessons about leadership resilience and the power of individual action to create meaningful change. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery, and until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into this fascinating world around us.